We'll start with Gita part and afterward the healing, special healing on today's Krishna Janmashtami. Let me just make it enlarge first. Yes, just relaxing. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansajanuramaldanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Arjun Uvacha Evam Satatayukta Ye Bhaktastvam Payupasate Ye Chapyaksharam Avyaktam Tesham Ke Yogavedamaha Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Veshamano Ye Mam Nityayukta Upasate Shattaya Parayopetas Te Me Yuktatama Mata Ye Tvaksharamanirdesha Ma Vyaktam Payupasate Sarvatra Kamachintyam Cha Kutastha Tuvam Sandhiyam Yendriya Gramam Savatra Samabuddhayaha Te Prapnuvanti Mameva Sarvabhutahite Rataha Kleshotikatarasteša Ma Vyakta Sakta Chetasam Avyakta Hikatira Dukkam Dehavat Piravapyate Ye tu sarvani karmani Mai sanyasya matpara Ananyene vayogena Mam dhyayanta upasate Teshamaham samudharta Mrityu sansara sagarat Bhavami nachirat patha Maya veshita chetasam Mayeva mana athasva Mai buddhim niveshaya Nivasishyasi mayeva Atau tvam na sanshaya Atha chittam samadhatum Na shaknoshi mayi sthiram Abhyasa yogena tato Mamichhaptum dhananjaya Abhyasepya samarthosi Matkarma paramo bhava Madartha mapi karamani Kuruvan siddhimavapsyasi Athaitadapya shaktosi Kartum mat yogamashita Sarva karma phalatyagam Tatah guru yatatmavan Shreyo hi jnanamabhyasat Jnanathyanam vishishyate Dhyanat karma phalatyagas Tyagachantiranantaram Adveshta sarvabhutanam Maitaha karuna evacha Niramamo nirahankaraha Samadukha sukhakshami सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चयः मय्यार्पितमनो बुद्धिर्यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः यस्मान्नो युज्यते लोको लोकान्नो युज्यते जयः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगै मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः अनपेक्षः शुचिर्दक्षः उदासीनो गतव्यथः सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभपरित्यागी भक्तिमान् यः स मे प्रियः समः शत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयोः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु समः सङ्गविवर्जितः तुल्यनिन्दास्तुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेतः स्थिरमतिर्भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः ये तु धर्म्यामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धाना भक्तास्तेऽतीव मे प्रियः ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता सूपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे भक्तियोगो नाम द्वादशोऽध्यायः हरिः ओम तत्सत् हरिः ओम तत्सत् हरिः ओम तत्सत् श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु शुभं भूयात् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्
चाहे भगवद गीता भगवत उपस्थित भगवत भक्तों के रूप में मेरी अपनी ही आत्माओं, श्रीमद् भगवद गीता भगवान के मुखारबिंद से निकली हुई अमर वाणी है और जो भी जीव श्रद्धा सहित इस अमर वाणी को धारण करता है वो जीवत्व को छोड़कर ईश्वरत्व की प्राप्ति करता है, इसमें कोई संशय नहीं है। ये जीवात्मा चाहे जिस देश में रहे और चाहे जिस भेष में रहे, गीता सबका सब काल में समान रूप से कल्याण करने वाला एक अनुपम एवं अलौकिक ग्रंथ है।
सुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशम् तत्त्वमस्य दिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भवातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि सद्गुरुं तं नमामि चित्तसङ्गदोषा अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामा द्वन्द्वे विमुक्तः सुखदुःखसङ्गे गच्छन्त्यमूढा परमाव्ययं तत् सर्वस्य चाहम् इति सन्निविष्टो मत्तः स्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदे च सर्वैरहमेव वेदो वेदान्तकृतवे दाविदेव चाहम् वेदान्तकृतवे दाविदेव चाहम् जीने का सहारा तेरा नाम रे, मुझे दुनिया वालों से क्या काम रे। बनवारी रे जीने का सहारा तेरा नाम रे, मुझे दुनिया वालों से क्या काम रे। झूठी दुनिया, झूठे बंधन, झूठी है ये माया, झूठा संस्कार आना जाना, झूठी है ये काया। ओ यहाँ सच्चा तेरा नाम रे, बनवारी रे, जीने का सहारा तेरा नाम रे, मुझे दुनिया वालों से क्या काम रे। रंग में तेरे रंगे गिरधर, छोड़ दिया जग सारा, बन गई तेरे प्रेम की जोगन, लेकर मन एक तारा। ओ यहाँ प्यार तेरा नाम रे, बनवारी रे, जीने का सहारा तेरा नाम रे, मुझे दुनिया वालों से क्या काम रे। बनवारी रे, जीने का सहारा तेरा नाम रे, मुझे दुनिया वालों से क्या काम रे। दर्शन तेरा जिस दिन न पाऊं, हर चिंता मिट जाए, जीवन मेरा इन चरणों में आस की ज्योत जगाए। ओ यहाँ न्यारा तेरा नाम रे, बनवारी रे, जीने का सहारा तेरा नाम रे, मुझे दुनिया वालों से क्या काम रे। बनवारी रे, जीने का सहारा तेरा नाम रे, मुझे दुनिया वालों से क्या काम रे। You can now gently and slowly open your eyes and know that you are a unique and beautiful spiritual being of pure consciousness. And all you have to do is to shine brightly everywhere you go, to everyone you meet. And you will be helping your beloved ones, your family, and the world. Stay blessed.
Jai Shri Krishna, Joshiji. Jai Shri Krishna, Dr. Kapoor.
Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna, everyone. It is a beautiful occasion, a great day. All over the world, we are celebrating Bhagwan Sri Krishna's Janmashtami celebration. And today, Brother Peter has sent and mentioned a very accurate years, how many years it has happened. And it is 5,254th anniversary of Sri Krishna, very accurately. Thank you, Peterji. You are on the top of everything, very precise. And for that many years, but Gita we know has been first told to Lord Son and their son and Ishwaku and on and on. And for the benefit of mankind, it was against created using Arjun, this song of God, the song of Lord Krishna. And every life they have been using Bhagavad Gita to make individual life worthwhile, community life worldwide, or universal life worthwhile. And this time it is going better and more powerful. Before I give it to Dr. Narendraji Kapoor, I want to give one information that it is very likely that September 24th, which is Saturday, we will have a spiritual conference with the background of Bhagavad Gita in New York, in Columbia University. Our brother Pradeep Senani is working very hard, and I called one of the guests, hopefully will be Swami Sarvapriyananji's office, and I will get confirmation tomorrow whether he will be able to join us. So all of us are welcome. And also, if you have youth, it's primarily geared for the youth. If you have youth, please encourage them. And by next week, I will be able to give more information about it. At this time, Kapoor Sahib, please, we are waiting eagerly from your practical approach of Bhagavad Gita. Thank you. Kapoor Sahib.
Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Gurudev to all. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansa Chanur Mardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagat Gurum. Today is a very sacred day. Today is the manifestation day of Bhagwan Sri Krishna. These days, people take it easy and they call it a birthday of Bhagwan Shri Krishna. भगवान जन्म नहीं लेते, they manifest. उनका अवतार होता है. So we have to adjust our thinking. Whosoever is born, they are subject to die. भगवान ना जन्म लेते हैं ना मरते हैं. So accordingly, we should adjust our day-to-day language on this particular day. Today is a challenge. According to the wisdom hidden in verse 15 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, it is a divine warranty that Lord Krishna is seated in the heart of everybody. And today is the day of challenge and recollection. Do we believe or don't believe? If we believe, the life will be totally miraculously changed. But the tragedy is we don't believe. We don't believe. Janmashtami aati hai, Janmashtami jati hai. But we don't believe that Bhagwan Shri Krishna is seated in my heart. And that is the source of all our sufferings. We suffer intensely only in the absence of this particular faith that Bhagwan Shri Krishna is seated in my heart. We have to reinvent ourselves day in, day out. Give those day in, day out that I am divine because Bhagwan Shri Krishna is seated in my heart. Once through meditative practice for many years, I reaffirm this faith, then miraculously you will be totally transformed. Your eating habits will change, your speech will change, your thoughts will change. And it is a test. It is a litmus test. But we don't challenge ourselves. We are just living routine lives. And that is not the wisdom of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. You should be standing tall in a crowd of 100 people, 1,000 people, because you are a student of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. That faith with particular knowledge, those are the ingredients for all of us that we must transform ourselves. Day in, day out, we should continue to jolt ourselves, to practice this thought. This is the divine mantra. There are many, many mantras, but this is the most powerful mantra that Bhagwan Shri Krishna is seated in my heart. Sarvasya chaham hridisannivishto. Now, these are the words coming out of the lotus lips of Bhagwan Shri Krishna. So I have to change myself. I have been stressing this more than enough with utmost humility. All the students of Srimad Bhagavad, we are all students. We must transform ourselves under the light of Srimad Bhagavad with the divine warranty that he is seated in my heart. Once I have developed this art of profound conviction, I will be a totally different person. Then you don't need to read Vedas, Upanishads, because you have been transformed. His presence is always with you. We only, in this Bhavasagar, जिसको हम कहते हैं, we suffer only because we don't have the profound conviction that Bhagwan Shri Krishna is seated in my heart. He is around me, he is with me, he is behind me, he is in front of me. We say only orally, but we have not practiced the conviction. Whatever our age span is, by this time, we should have been perfected this thought that Bhagwan Shri Krishna is seated in my heart. So this is the day, today is Janmashtami. Remind yourself, challenge yourself that I have to, if I have not been doing that, let me practice it. let me challenge myself. And then when the next year, this Janmashtami come, then stand tall that I have been transformed. There must be transformation, not change, transformation I'm talking about. Today I will share the thought on the anger management also coming out of the wisdom of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. These days people are very angry. They don't say, but inside they are holding angers of different type, different forms. So there is wisdom coming out of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Dhyayato Vishyan Pumsa Sangarsteshu Pujayate Sanga Sanjayate Kama Kama Krodho Vijayate Krodha Bhavati Sammoha Sammohat Smriti Vibhrama Smriti Brahmasra Buddhi Nasha Pranashyati. So it is a chemistry. We must understand, then we will not be angry. In the absence of anger, you are peaceful. When you are peaceful, your mind is focused. When your mind is focused, you are very close to Lord Krishna. Then you will realize that Lord Krishna is seated in my heart. If the mind is not focused, we will never realize. So let me share with you Dhyayato Vishyanpumsa. The moment any desire comes in our mind, immediately it is translated into action. And action has two options, either success or failure. Success is sukh, failure is dukh. So it is my desire which is producing sukh and dukh. God has nothing to do with that. So if I manage my desires, there is no sukh and dukh. So dhyayato vishyan pumsa sangarsteshu pujayate. The moment desire develops in my heart, in my mind, then the attachment comes, that I should get that, whatever it could be. Any desire, जिस चीज की भी आपकी desire है, then you want to get it. Now it is the attachment. And attachment is a source of lust. You want to get it by hook or by crook. If the desire is very strong, you don't care about the means. You want to get it. Even through illegitimate means, we try our best to get that object. So first of all, it is the desire, then it is the attachment, then it is the obsession. Somehow I have to get it. And if you don't get it, now this is the red light. Now you are angry that everybody is getting, why I am not getting. So this is called anger. It was your desire, it was your action, it was your attachment, it was your obsession, but you didn't get it. Now you are angry. Now you are angry. So once the anger develops, then it's a slippery road. You cannot stop it. There are preemptive actions can be taken before you are angry. But once you are angry, you cannot stop the anger. So we have to understand now what happened. Dhyayato vishyan pumsa sangarsteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kama. Kama krodho vijayate. Krodha bhavati sammoha. Once you are angry, you are in a state of hypnotic state. You don't know what you are doing. That is called Dhyayato Vishyan Sangarsteshu Pujayate Sanga Sanjayate Kama Kama Krodho Vijayate Krodha Bhavati Sammoha. Hypnotic state. Sammoha Smriti Vibhrama. The next step is you will lose your memory. Your memory is compromised. And once the memory is compromised, your intellect is totally ruined. You don't understand between right and wrong. The angry man has no sense of right and wrong. This is the last step. And once through hypnotic state, you lose the memory and then the intellect between right and wrong. This is the sure state for the destruction of that individual. So it is a 7-step for self-destruction. So Bhagavad Gita gives you the wisdom, the tools and resources at no cost. Now don't do that. Don't do that. Stay peaceful. But in this whole 7 steps, the ego becomes very strong. So people who have very strong ego, now we are the judge and juries. Nobody can go inside anybody. We have to judge ourselves. Am I angry or I am not angry? My ego is strong or my ego is not strong. So whosoever is holding a strong ego, he is an angry man, woman, whatever. So this is the wisdom of Bhagavad Gita, that angry man loses the discrimination between right and wrong, and his ego becomes very strong. And once whosoever ego is strong, that individual is very angry. So manage your ego. Watch your ego on a daily basis. Are you angry? Angry means, do you have a very strong ego? Little things bother you. If somebody praises you, you are happy, and then the criticism comes, you are very angry. You are a shaky person. And you are not attached to divine forces. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, there are 39 qualities, and this is one of the qualities, steadfastness. The person who is steadfast, he is holding a very minimal ego. जिसको स्वाभिमान कहते हैं. There are 2 words in Hindi. One is abhiman, one is स्वाभिमान. We all must have स्वाभिमान, that I am a divine person. My existence of this planet is the apex point of the creation. I must do those things which the best person can do, not minimal things, not collecting things, not name and fame. That is not the mission on this planet. And Bhagavad Gita, it is the celestial wisdom. It sheds lights on every iota of your body. But we have to change, we have to listen to it, we have to practice it. Once we do these things, you can manage your anger also. And when you manage your anger, you will not be an egomania person. Manage your ego through the management of your mind, and which is to manage the mind is called meditation. That is the process. So manage your mind through meditation, and then manage your ego, and then you will not be angry. Anger destroys the person and people around him or her. This is the biggest enemy of the human being. People who are holding anger, supplemented by ego, they are destroying themselves. You cannot be a spiritual person if you have an ego, very strong ego. You must hold and practice swabhiman, not abhiman, not ego. Ego is your own kingdom, where we say I, and I. That is a no-no, according to the lights of coming out of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So we must change, we must transform ourselves. And this is the day for recollection. Challenge yourself on this day of Janmashtami and try to digest the wisdom of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. This day should not be for just singing and all that stuff. It's a serious day for recollection. The Almighty Bhagwan Sri Krishna manifested on this day, and he gave this wisdom to the entire humanity. So we must not forget our mission on this planet. And this is the reminder to all of us that hold Bhagavad Gita in your heart. Bhagwan Shri Krishna is seated in your heart. Develop this faith with profound conviction, not just like routine things. Try it. You will be totally transformed. Your ego will be managed. You will never be angry. Your compassion, empathy, and selflessness state of mind will develop. With these thoughts, I pray to Almighty Bhagwan Sri Krishna to give us the wisdom so that we may sustain and digest these thoughts. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev.
Thank you so much, Kapoor Sahib. Beautiful verses. In our Chicago International Conference, Gurudev took one full day for Sarvasya Chaham Hadisannivishto Masta Smati Jnanam Apodam. Pura whole day he took it to explain the power and mystic of this mantra, 15th chapter, 15th verse. Also very interesting, Kapoor Sahib, that you took two verses from chapter 2. When I came to New York first time in 70s, late 70s, early 80s, when Gurudev was there and there was a mini conference, Gurudev used to say, somebody speak. And he told that the Chicago group must send somebody to go and speak, and I was pushed to speak, and I did not know much to speak about. So I was given by some scholar to speak the meaning of one verse. That was Jayato Vidyan Punsa Sangasya Supajayate Sanga Sanjayate Kama Kama Krudo Vijayate Krudat Bhavati Sammoha Sammohat Smriti Vimam Smriti Vinsrad Buddhi Nashwa Buddhi Nashat Panishati. And I read the meaning of that from the book. And everybody was happy. Oh, I did a good job. But you brought these two verses, and I was sad because I was participating. You were there in New York when they did the full Haman in the church or some school. So thank you very, very much. Again, wishing all of you happy Janmashtami, and want to request Prasadji, and I request Vilayji, Geeta Kiran to open the screen for Dr. Prasad, and eagerly waiting for this wonderful work. As he presents, we know how much work he's putting into explaining these verses, and still it is resounding in my mind. Brahma, Ishwar, and Atma. And once you can even understand what is Avatar, what is Brahma, Nirgun, Nirakar, Sagun, Sakar, and who we are, so many things start getting clearer. So Dr. Prasadji, thank you for whatever you are doing. We always wait for you. So please go ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Joshi ji. First of all, today is Janmashtami Day. My felicitations to all present here. Incidentally, we are going through the verses in which Lord talks about his advent, his avatar, Jada Jada hi dharmasya, glanir bhavati bharata, abhyuthana dharmasya, tadatmanam sijamayam, paritranaya sadhunam, vinasaya jaduskatam, dharma sansthapanarthaya, Sambhavami Juge Juge. I will take on the remaining part of it after the prayer. Vansi Vibhushita Kara Navanir Dava Pitambara Darunabimba Pala Darostha Purendu Sundara Mukha Arvinda Netra Krishna Param Kimapitat Tvamaham Najane Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. The verse following 6, 7, and 8, we have been going through this verse 9 of chapter 4, and I'm still stuck with Tyaktva Deham Punarajanama Naiti Mameti Sujana. Discarding the body to be with Brahma. Tyajam Deham, Tyaktva Deham. Give up one part will lead to Mameti, Brahma, from body to nobody. You see this as we are going through so many verses from the beginning to the end. Dr. Kapoorji has talked about why, even though we understand Sarvasya Chaham Hrudi Sannivisto, ये माथे में घुसता क्यों नहीं है, व्यवहार में आता क्यों नहीं? Why this doesn't get inside us? Why we cannot really absorb it? Bhagavad Gita, in Bhagavad Gita, Lord has told one crux of the thing, main thing, repeatedly, because that is abhyas. The word abhyas has tremendous meaning. Abhyas or practice will take us where we want to go to. We have to first determine our goal, where we want to go. We have to realize where we are. So once the goal posts have been established, our present situation where we are, to a goal where we want to go, this has to be determined by spiritual practitioners, by sadhaka. A sadhaka must have his sadhya. That sadhya has to be determined. So sadhaka will then do sadhana. The sadhak has to practice and practice, repeatedly practice, to be able to reach the destination which is called sadhya. Now, here what Lord is indicating in this verse, Tyajam Deha, you give up this body, boy. This body is not yours. This belongs to Prakriti. You are Brahma. You are holding on to it. The moment you leave this, you will become one with Brahma. This is the understanding Lord has been telling us repeatedly from very beginning of Sankhya Yoga philosophy in chapter 2 to chapter 18, many times. Joshi ji has been repeatedly telling us about Na sato vidyate bhavu, na bhavu vidyate sata. How many times he has said it, and how many times we should say it. It should be understood that we have to give up what is asat. Once you give up the asat, you will get into the sat. Once the darkness is gone, brightness will come in. The question is, what are those things which you think is asat and you are holding on to that? If we realize what is asat, the difficulty is we do not realize that what we are doing is wrong. We do not realize what we are practicing is not the right way. You have to practice in such a way, sadhana aisi honi chahiye ki siddhi prapt ho. The practice should be such that you attain the destination. We do not first recognize that we are holding on to asat. This body is asat, but we do everything to keep our body, our ego, our mind, and buddhi all towards external object, towards the world, sansar, which is mithya. To understand that world is mithya is not an ordinary thing. It's a huge, big thing to realize. But Bhagwan, in his own way, he has been telling us. Maharaji has been telling us how many times? Almost every time when he speaks, he starts speaking, जीवत को छोड़कर इस सूरत की प्राप्ति. कितनी बार उन्होंने बोला होगा, फिर भी बोलते हैं. Next talk he will again say, जीवत को छोड़कर इस सूरत. Because we do not realize that we are holding on to jivatva. Once we realize that we are doing wrong thing, we are holding on to jivatva, then is suratva you will start saying. You will move towards in that direction. Jivatva ko chhorkar is surat ki prapti. Maharaji has told us many, many times. Towards the end of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan again brings forward, he says, Arjuna, sarva dharman parityajya mamekam saranam braja. Now this is a wonderful verse and requires a lot of explanation, but this is not the time I am going to explain this verse. I'm just trying to indicate certain very fundamental and main principle behind this statement of Bhagavan, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam. Again, the indication is don't hold on to asat. You come and surrender to me, which is sat. Surrender to me. He doesn't say that sab dharma ko chhod do. Nahi. Although in meaning you read that abandon all dharma, the essence is not to give up all dharma. Essence is dependence upon dharma. Sab avlamban tajkar pyare, meri saran mein aa ja re. The question is to serve sare avlambanon ko chhod do. Dependence upon dharma. You see the beautiful way has been explained. If you go to this sequence of events that led to Karna's death. Karan, I'm talking about the in the war. I'm talking of Mahabharata war, where Karna was killed by Arjuna. What is happening? What happened there? You know, for the first 10 days, it was Bhishma Pitama who was the commander-in-chief of the army. On 10th day, Arjuna puts arrow on his chest and he falls down. Then from 11th day to 15th day, it is Guru Dronacharya who becomes commander-in-chief. These two persons, Bhishma Pitama and Guru Dronacharya, had some soft corner for Pandavas. And Duryodhana he wanted, let these two will killed, then I will put Karna in charge of the army and I will win the war. So on the 15th day, Dronacharya is killed by Dhristadyumna, and then Karna was made commander-in-chief. Now, when Karna was fighting on the 16th and 17th day, on 7th, there are a lot of stories I am again avoiding. On 17th day, what happens? Karna came straight in front of Arjuna. Now, he was very heavily attacking Arjuna. But in the meantime, his chariot was stuck in the ground, which was stuck and was not able to move. So what Karna did, he took out his bow and arrow and put on the chariot. He came down, and before bending down to lift the wheel, he tells Arjuna, look, I am without any arms. I am just, my chariot is stuck. I am going to release the chariot. Then I will put on, then you will fight. Lord Sri Krishna was there with Arjuna. Lord Krishna. Now, Arjuna, realizing the dharma, I'm trying to come to the point, Sarva Dharman Parityaja. Arjuna was, he heard Kiran and he realized that I should not throw my arrow. So he was trying to follow dharma, and by following dharma, he thought that he should not do it. But Bhagwan, what he does? Bhagwan tells Arjuna, see, Bhagwan takes over. As long as Arjuna was depending upon his understanding of dharma, he was not going to throw his arrow. But Bhagwan takes over and he says, Arjuna, you don't forget, he is Atatai. And who is Atatai? There are a lot of verses are there. I'm not telling that. Then he says that for Atatai, he must be killed. The Shastra say, come what may, whether he is armed or unarmed, he must be killed. That is it. The Yoga Vasishtha, there is a description of that. He should be killed. So don't miss the opportunity you kill. And you remember how he killed your son Abhimanyu? All 6 of Maharathi, all 6 Maharathi joined together to kill. Where was Dharma then? If he is not following Dharma, which you are trying to follow, what makes you following Dharma to not to kill him? What I'm trying to say, that Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mam Ekam Saranam Braja. You have your way of following Dharma, but once you have surrendered to Lord, all dharmas are subsided. That Tyaja, discarding the body, discarding Asata, it all becomes Asata. Then Sata, you are holding on to Sat. What Bhagavan said, you follow. Draupadi, similarly, Draupadi was going to be disrobed by Dusasana, but she first sought help from her husbands, and all husbands, they were all down there morally, and they were not having any power. They were not doing anything. So Draupadi cried out and asked help from Bhagavan Sri Krishna. But Bhagavan Sri Krishna also did not come to help her till such time he was holding her sari in her hand. That was avlambana. You are depending upon your husband. You are depending upon sari to take care of your chastity. Now that is, you give up. Once you give up everything, Bhagavan become Sari himself and took care of Draupadi, you all know. So the question is, we have to get to the goal and abandon what is not, what is worldly, what is not yours, what is asata, and what is destructible. Gurudev used to, we have all heard him talking about Arati, Om Jaya Jagdish Hare, when the Aarti is done, Maharaj said, look what you all say. Tan man dhan sab hai tera, tera sab kuch hai tera, tera tujhko arpan kya lage mera. ये आप बोलते तो हो कि तन मन धन सब है तेरा, तेरा तुझको अर्पण. So you are giving up your body to be one with Brahma, but next moment you are trying to see how much money you should give for the Aarti. Maharaj would say like that. Abhi, now, just now we heard Swami Kiran, Geeta Kiran talking about Banwari Re. Banwari Re, जीने का सहारा तेरा नाम रे, मुझे दुनिया वालों से क्या काम रे. Beautiful bhajan. If you go live, if you read, the subsequent verses come in, so beautifully the description is there that world is nothing for me. You are the one, you are the Brahma, you are everything. But the moment bhajan or satsang is finished, you are, oh, so look, my husband has not yet come. I was waiting for the car to come to fetch me and blah, blah, and blasting on our husband. We get involved in the world. Brothers and sisters, we all are following Bhagavad Gita. We all are trying to understand what is the meaning. We're trying to absorb what is given there, but it is not so easy. And as Dr. Kapoor Sahib has said, and as we all realize, we know that first thing we have to understand. Second thing is to assimilate. The assimilate, the absorb within ourselves. You see, we all do japa. I know all of you do japa. You sit down in the beginning, when you start doing japa, hardly one mala goes and you are sick. All kinds of things start roaming in your mind. But the only thing which is not there is Bhagwan. If you are putting your mind on the foot, on the Bhagwan ke charan mein aapka dhyan hai, 2 minute mein 2 minute ka 1 minute mein dhyan, 1 minute ka 5 second mein dhyan chala jata hua. Kyun nahi hota hai? Yato nischarati manas chanchala mastitam tato niyamyetat atmaneva vasamnet. Niyamyetat, practice. You have to keep on practicing, and then you will see time will come that you will start to get the concentration more and more. We have talked about mala vikshepa. I will not go into that now, but there are impurities in our mind, and those impurities do not allow us to really get rid of the vasana within. And that vasana creates all those thoughts in the mind, brings that mind in front of you if you are concentrating, trying to see Bhagwan mere andar hai, Bhagwan mere man mein hai, mere hriday mein hai. Ye to hum bolte hain aur samajhte hain, lekin tikta nahi wahan par hai. So there is a need to understand the difference between our human body, the divine body, and no body. The aim is to transcend from this human body on to this no body. And this I have talked about earlier. I am summarizing whatever I have mentioned before, that human body is under influence of Prakriti. Human body has vasanas, depending upon whether how much vasana you have, how much satogun you have, rajogun you have, tamogun you have. That guna makes the whole system of involvement in Prakriti and Jagat depending upon the quantum or proportion of Rajas, Sattva and Tamas. This is human body. What happens in Avatar, the Sagun Sakar Brahma? Here, the Prakriti is under influence of Avatar. Here, human body is under influence of Prakriti. But here the Prakriti is under influence of Avatar. There is no vasana, no guna. So guna is equipoised. And at his will, at the will of divine Avatar, Prakriti loses its existence. and then gets merged with Brahma. I have explained that earlier. I'm just summarizing that this is the process of getting away from body to no body, that you have to get rid of all vasanas. Once vasanas are out, your body will be, your prakriti will have no existence, and then you will get rid of vasana and get in purity of Brahma. Now, coming to the Divya Karma, Lord has talked about Divya Janma, that's fine. But he is talking about Divya Karma as it. Janma Karma cha me Divyam. You see, I have slightly touched this on last week, that when Arjuna has asked the question, he asked about Lord's birth. How come your birth and my birth, we took birth together at the same time, almost same time, but how you told the knowledge, you imparted knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to Sun God, how come? That was the question. So Bhagavan said, you bahune me batitani janmani tavacharjuna tanyaham ved sarvani natum ved param tapa. I remember all those, you do not. Our janma has been many times. That is, he is again, Arjuna is talking about janma. Bhagavan is also talking about janma. But then he brings on janma karma cha me divyam. I also mentioned last time that Arjuna had just wanted drashtum mikshami te rupam. That was singular number. I just want your form. Bhagavan says, Pasme partha rupani sata sota sahasrat. I will not show you only my one rupa, but many, many, many rupa. So Bhagavan has his own way of conveying the knowledge which he wants to impart. What he wants to impart is divine karma. He's asking Arjuna, you cannot have divine janma as mine, because that is unique, that is within my power. It can't be with any human being. You can't have avatar. But you can go on to perform divine karma. That is what Lord is indicating here, that you will be able to perform divine karma. Now, what is the meaning of divine karma? Let us go to that and have some understanding of what is divine, what is karma, what is divine karma. We have been going through this, and we will still go on throughout whole Bhagavad Gita, from second chapter, third chapter, all karma yoga. Yet, here we have talked about karma in more depth, knowledge and tyaga. Karma sannyasa tyaga, janma karma sannyasa yoga. So here Lord is talking about the question of karma, understanding of karma with knowledge, with jnana. So what is the definition? Definition of divine karma is that all actions with the divine endowment. You remember, we have talked about chapter 16, where divine endowments are given. Devi Sampada or Asuri Sampada, both are given in chapter 16, and I will not go into that. Just I will give you the hint that in this chapter, from verses 1 to 3, just 3 verses, Lord has talked about 26 qualities of Devi Sampada. Avayam Satta Sansuddhi Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti Dhanam Damascha Yagyascha Swadaya Stapa Arjavam Ahimsa Satyama Krodha Tyaga Santirapai Sunam Daya Bhute Solo Luktam Artavam Rira Chapalam Teja Chama Dhriti Saucham Adroho Nati Manita Bhavanti Sampadam Daivim Vijatasya Bharata. These are the 3 verses in chapter 16 which gives 26 qualities of Devi Sampada. You know, Bhagavan has given similarly, Bhagavan has given 39 qualities of Bhakta in chapter 12. And similarly, there are qualities of Jnani in chapter 13. So those are congregated way of distinguishing one from the other. But you will see there are a lot of mixing. A lot of Devi Sampada qualities are also in Bhakta. So once you start getting into these words and their meaning, some of them may get stuck. You may just take one sub, okay, we will talk of Adroha, we don't talk, we Abhayam, Sattva Samsuddhi, Jnana Yoga, all these are attributes, qualities of those who are divine, having divine endowment. If we do not have those, we try to inculcate those divine qualities and get practice them into your life. Why you want the divine qualities? Lord has clearly mentioned, Devi Sambadhi Mokshaya Nivandhaya Asuris. Asuri Prakriti will be binding in this world, but you don't want this to get involved in the world. You want to get release from the world. If you want to release from your world, then you get into the Devi Sampada. The divine nature is conducive to liberation. So if you want liberation, you want moksha, then you have to have Devi Sampada. You want to have release from the body, release from the deha, and get into the into Brahma, then you have to inculcate this. I think I will stop here today and I will let Joshi ji take over. Thank you very much for the listening.
Thank you so much, Prasad-ji. Let's first have Dashna of Gurudev. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah. Vasudev Sutam Devam Kansa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru. We start with our regular invocation. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadi Tamasu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we all be protected, we all be nourished, all work together with great energy. May our intellect be sharpened, our study be effective. Let there be no animosity amongst us. Om peace, om peace, om peace. I'll make very quick today. I have 10 minutes. I keep talking about why are we born and why were we born the way we were born. As we talk about astrology, we all have a horoscope, and it's uniquely different horoscope, like we all are uniquely different. For many, many births, we create karma, good, neutral, bad karma. And those accounting of the result of our karmas are reflected like an X-ray in the horoscope. So we are born and we go through our life. And again, we mess up, most of us, our life and mess up our vasanas again. Some fortunate like us make better judgment using Bhagavad Gita and keep our balance sheet a little better. In second chapter, Bhagavan Sri Krishna makes a very straightforward, clear guidance like Triguna Vidya Veda Nitidishya Guri Bhavajuna. Hey Arjun, Veda enumerates the three gunas, Sasogun, Rajogun, Tamogun, and you transcend from all the three gunas. Any human being, whether it's a multi-billionaire or whether it's a pauper, they all have one thing in their control: how to be happy. Happy for a longer time, happy forever. In our Purana stories, we mention and listen a sannyasi, a sadhu, a fakir is happier than a person with lots of resources and money. So a goal must be sought. Whatever we do in our life, how to be happy, how to be in Anand. And before we can find that state, we should know what makes our attachment makes us prisoner of this universal world. The happiness that we can lose if we lose a little bit of our fineness, if we lose a relative, if we lose our respectability. If we can understand these three things that we lose, then we feel sorrow. But according to the Sat and Asat, these attributes are Asat. And we have to rise above this. And once we get into the Karma Yoga, and as Gurudev mentioned, Yajna's Karma, these three avgunas slowly get disappeared. Sanskar, Sangathan, Satsang, they slowly take these three gunas, including Satguna, gets diluted. Because we have to go beyond all the three gunas. And that's where Sri Krishna takes Arjuna from that point, how to be free from three gunas. Three gunya Vishya Veda, Nishya gunya Bhavajana, Nirdvando. Be firm from right and wrong, positive, negative. Be in the neutral. If you see the balance, the end point of the balance moves up and down, but center point doesn't move. So we have to find the state of being at the center. Whatever happens left or right, the center is stable. And now Arjuna is guided with question answer. All the way when Arjuna says, Nashto moha smriti rabda svaspasada maya shuta. Istitosmi gata sandeha karishe vasanam sava. So when we discuss in our small elite group of Bhagavad Gita, we must listen carefully. Very beautiful thoughts come from Kabul Sahib, most of our Professor Prasadji, and try to practice. And it is said in our Shastras, if you take one attribute and practice 21 days continuously, it tries to become the part of your living style, your habit. So try to take some guna and practice with awareness for 21 days, and you will see that your sadhana is bringing you the fruits. So sadhana is also very, very important. You can bring medicine from the pharmacy and put it in your medical chest. But until you take that medicine in your system, it will not work. Similarly, when we come to these classes, we should take those things and go out to practice it. In this regard, I will also bring some work that Sister Satyaji is doing Sunday morning, Chicago, 10:30 time, New York, 11:30 time. And she throws out very beautiful ideas on graphical form using Bhagavad Gita. And people like it. I attend it regularly, and they are very simple and easy. And we must use it in our life. That's important. What should you do in the morning? What you should do before you have lunch? What do you do before you go to bed? And she brought up Om mantra. Om has been described in Bhagavad Gita. It's very powerful. Its frequency is made for anyone living being. And she mentioned that it's a very good sleep remedy. And somehow I had a problem 3 days ago to have a sleep. And I remember that Satyaji sent me that Om repetitive mantra, and I must use it. And my dear friends, I used it, and I don't know when did I sleep until my battery of the iPhone got depleted. Continuous flying. So these things must be used. I want to take 2 more minutes and we'll conclude. Very good things are happening in Geeta Dham with the help of the leadership of Dinesh Ahuja. One village has been decorated with 1,000, 2,000 plantation trees. He is financing it, and Geeta Dham is helping it. So I saw the picture that our administrator of Geeta Dham, Ranjanji, is helping him. And I saw one plantation where Niranjanji was there personally adjusting the cage to protect the plants. And then I talked to him, and looks like he's also charged. He's very happy to do what he's doing. And I had a good conversation with him. So things are moving well in Geeta Dham. So be ready to do anything you can do for Gurudev, and that is doing for Geeta Dham. And we'll keep coming with more ideas, more projects, how you can participate according to your Shraddha. And we are bhakts of Gurudev. Gurudev has created many miracles in most of our lives. So we must start acting like a bhakta. And remember, 22nd verse of chapter 9, Ananya Nisyayanto Ma Yojana Parivasase. When you become bhakta, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, for the power of Gurudev's blessing, come to rescue and help us attain everything we need, and everything means to be happy all the times. Let's all be happy. Let's vow to be happy. Take our blessings from Sri Krishna on his Janmashtami day. We'll meet again. One more thing I want to tell. Last full moon, we had a great time. Swami Gita Kiran is doing a wonderful job on full moon day. There's a lot of power that comes from full moon on that day. And that is the evening of Thailand, so it is the morning time of US. So next full moon, please join a good long meditation, beautiful chapter from Thai devotee, very, very soothing. With that, thank you very much. We'll meet again next Thursday, and happy Janmashtami. And thank you, my dear brother Peter. You are doing a wonderful job. Thank you. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, everybody.
Jai Shri Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.